The hip-hop world is in shock. Papoose, once hailed as the most loyal husband in rap, has just turned the tables on Remy Ma in the most explosive way possible. In a stunning twist, Papoose is now accusing Remy of being a deadbeat mother to their daughter. And the whispers don't stop there. Sources claim he's preparing to take the fight to court, even considering a custody battle that could shatter their family forever. Fans are asking, is this the ultimate betrayal, or the truth nobody wanted to admit? Buckle up, because this story is about to get ugly. The hip-hop world has always loved Papoose and Remy Ma's love story. From the outside, they were the definition of loyalty. The couple that survived prison time, industry drama, and years of ups and downs. Always standing by each other. But now, that picture-perfect image is cracking in the most shocking way possible. Papoose has stepped into the spotlight, not to celebrate his wife, but to call her out. And the words he's using are harsh, raw, and damaging. For the first time ever, Papoose is publicly accusing Remy Ma of being a deadbeat mother to their daughter, a claim that no one saw coming, but one that has the internet on fire. It all began during a late-night podcast appearance. At first, it sounded like the usual conversation: fatherhood, family life, and what it means to be a man in hip-hop. But when the host pressed him about his daughter's upbringing, Papoose's mood shifted. His voice dropped. His body language grew tense. And then he said it. "I've been the one raising our daughter," he admitted, his tone sharp. People don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. I've been doing everything. School, activities, emotional support, that's me. I've been holding it down. I'm tired of being quiet while everybody thinks she's this perfect mom. The room went silent. The host looked stunned. And social media, which caught wind of the clip within hours, exploded. Was Papoose, really? Accusing Remy Ma of neglecting her daughter? After all the years of publicly praising her loyalty, was he flipping the narrative completely? Fans didn't know what to believe. Some immediately sided with Papoose, pointing out that he had always been the more present parent, the one sharing pictures of their daughter, the one talking about fatherhood proudly. Others defended Remy, saying her career demands music, and appearances didn't make her a deadbeat, but simply a working mom. But Papoose wasn't finished. As the podcast continued, he dropped another bombshell. "Man, I done thought about taking it to court. Yeah, 'cause at the end of the day, it's about the child. I gotta fight for her to be raised right. I'ma do that. I don't care who don't like it." The internet broke. Custody battle? The same Papoose who once defended his wife through prison and scandal was now considering dragging her into court over their own daughter. It was unthinkable. Yet here he was, saying it in his own words. Immediately, speculation went wild. What was happening behind the scenes? Was this a sudden outburst, or had the cracks been showing for a while? Insiders began whispering about growing tension in the household. Rumors swirled that Remy's focus on her career appearances and even alleged outside relationships had left Papoose feeling like a single parent in his own home. On Twitter, fans debated furiously. Papoose held her down all those years, and this is how she's moving. "I don't believe it. He's bitter, 'cause she's busy. Calling her a deadbeat is too far. That's mother of his child. Custody battle incoming. This is messy." And just like that, the couple once praised for their unbreakable bond was suddenly the center of one of the ugliest family scandals hip-hop has seen in years. For Remy, the silence was deafening. While Papoose's words spread like wildfire, she stayed quiet, no posts, no interviews, nothing to counter his claims. Fans interpreted that silence in two ways. Either she was guilty, or she was preparing for a much bigger response. Meanwhile, blogs began resurfacing old moments that now looked suspicious in hindsight. Clips where Papoose was the one showing up for school events, while Remy was absent. Interviews where Papoose gushed about fatherhood while Remy brushed past family questions. Even photos that fans once thought were sweet, Papoose holding their daughter while Remy posed on red carpets, were now being reanalyzed with a different lens. Had we been seeing signs all along? Still, Many argued Papoose was crossing a dangerous line. Accusing the mother of your child of being a deadbeat is one thing, but suggesting court action? Okay, that's an entirely different level of war. One, that could scar not only their relationship, but also their daughter's life. And as the clip continued to circulate, more layers emerged. Some insiders claimed this wasn't just about parenting. This was about betrayal. According to whispers, Papoose felt disrespected and neglected, not just as a partner, but as a father. They alleged he had been bottling up resentment for years, and this podcast appearance was his breaking point. Others pushed a different narrative. That Papoose was using his daughter as leverage in a crumbling marriage, weaponizing the idea of custody to get back at Remy. Was this really about parenting, or was it revenge disguised as fatherly concern? The debate raged on. But one thing was undeniable. The public image of Remy Ma and Papoose, the couple everyone once admired, would never be the same again. By the end of that week, gossip sites were reporting that Papoose had already consulted legal experts about his chances in a custody case. Whether those rumors were true or exaggerated, they only added fuel to the fire. If Papoose was really preparing to sue for custody, the drama was about to reach a level no one thought possible. And fans, they couldn't stop talking. Remy as a deadbeat, custody battle. These weren't just headlines. This was the implosion of hip-hop's ride-or-die love story, and the fallout was just beginning. Because while Papoose had already aired his side, everyone was waiting for one thing: Remy Ma's response. Would she defend herself? Would she clap back? Or would she expose secrets of her own that could flip the story once again? One thing was clear: this wasn't just a marital dispute anymore. This was about reputation, legacy, and the future of their daughter, and the world was watching, waiting for the next move in a battle that was about to get even uglier. The fallout from Papoose's shocking claims didn't fade away. In fact, it only grew louder. His podcast confession had painted Remy Ma in a way the public had never seen before, and the silence on her end was deafening. But as days passed, the pressure mounted, and eventually, Remy Ma decided it was time to break her silence. It wasn't with a simple Instagram post. It wasn't through a PR statement. No. Remy chose to face the rumors head-on with a live stream that instantly pulled in tens of thousands of viewers. Fans flooded the chat with questions before she even said a word. And when she finally began speaking, her tone was calm, but her eyes burned with emotion. "I've been quiet because sometimes silence is better than lies," Remy said. "But I can't sit back while people paint me as a bad mother. That's one title I will never wear." The room went quiet and the internet leaned in closer. Remy didn't deny that. Papoose had been deeply involved in raising their daughter. In fact, she praised him. "He's an amazing father. It's not even up for debate," she admitted. "But don't confuse me working hard to provide with me not being present. I may not post every moment, I may not brag every chance I get, but my daughter knows who I am. She knows the sacrifices I've made." Her voice cracked slightly as she continued. "I missed years of her life because of prison. That still haunts me. So the idea that I would neglect her now, I would ever put anything above my child, that's hurtful. Then for that to come from her father, the man who knows my struggle better than anyone, that's betrayal." The comments section exploded. Remy is hurt. You can hear it. She's spitting facts. Work doesn't equal neglect. Why would Papoose do this to her in public? She's telling her side now. This is deeper than we thought. But Remy wasn't finished. She hinted at something more, something that suggested Papoose's accusations weren't as simple as they seemed. "When a man feels like he's losing control," she said, "sometimes he says things to hurt you, to get power back. But you can't use my child as a weapon against me. You can't." The statement sent shockwaves through the fandom. Was Remy accusing Papoose of weaponizing their daughter in the midst of a marital fallout? If so, then this wasn't just about parenting. This was about power, respect, and maybe even revenge. Within hours, blogs picked up every quote from the live stream. Some spun it as Remy's heartfelt defense of her motherhood. Others twisted it into a sign of guilt, suggesting she was dodging the deeper claims. Either way, the narrative shifted. Now it wasn't just about whether she was a deadbeat. It was about whether Papoose had crossed the line by airing family business in public. Meanwhile, Papoose didn't stay silent either. Just a day later, he doubled down in an Instagram post featuring a collage of photos with his daughter. The caption read, "Being a father is more than money, more than fame. It's presence, it's consistency. And when you put your kids first, you don't ever have to explain yourself. Facts over feelings." Fans instantly read it as a direct clapback at Remy's live stream. The battle lines were clearer than ever. Remy fighting to clear her name, Papoose doubling down on his version of events. And then came the rumors that turned everything upside down. Whispers began spreading, cross gossip blogs that Papoose had already spoken with a custody attorney. According to insiders, he was seriously exploring his legal options, not just throwing out empty threats. If that was true, this wasn't just marital drama anymore. This was a family war heading for the courtroom. Fans debated endlessly. He files for custody, it's over. There's no coming back from that. This is toxic. That poor child is in the middle of it all. Remy don't deserve this. He's trying to humiliate her. Or maybe he's serious. Maybe he really feels she's not there enough. The tension grew thicker when paparazzi spotted Papoose leaving a Manhattan law office just days later. Was it business? Or was it custody? No one knew for sure, but the timing was too perfect or too suspicious to ignore. Meanwhile, Remy stayed busy. She appeared at a charity event, smiling for cameras, but insiders claimed she was devastated behind the scenes. She can handle beef with other rappers, she can handle critics, but this? Being called a bad mother. That broke her, one source told a blog. As the weeks unfolded, the couple's once private marriage became an open battlefield. More old interviews resurfaced. More fan theories circulated. And the one person at the center of it all, their daughter, became the symbol of what was truly at stake. For many fans, it was heartbreaking. "We watched them as a symbol of loyalty and love." One commenter wrote, "Now it's all falling apart. And it's the child who suffers." But others saw something else. A power struggle playing out in public, with each side trying to claim moral high ground. Remy Ma with her emotional livestream, Papoose with his cryptic captions and legal hints. Neither side was backing down. The blogs kept the pot boiling. Some suggested that Remy was preparing her own legal team. Others claimed she was focused on keeping things private for her daughter's sake. Still, the speculation only grew louder, and just when people thought things couldn't get more explosive, another rumor surfaced that Remy had screenshots, receipts, and private information that could completely flip the narrative on Papoose. Allegedly, she had kept quiet out of respect. But if pushed into a custody battle, she would have no choice but to expose him. The stage was set. Two people who once represented hip-hop's strongest bond were now on the verge of a Quain mob, XCXCOS. If you're using like a scanner, FAF, if you're using like a scanner app, and it's like, we're gonna die. Like, look at this. And we, look at this. And we all know. I've been exploring. M. Quain was it close to this? And with, when we see RMD, M. Quain concoid. 8. Public custody showdown. And everyone knew the next move would be the most devastating of all. The storm surrounding Papoose and Remy Ma had reached its boiling point. For weeks, fans had witnessed a back and forth between two people they once saw as the epitome of loyalty and family. But when rumors surfaced that Remy was holding back receipts that could flip the script entirely, the tension became unbearable. Everyone was waiting for her next move. And then it happened. One evening, Remy dropped a cryptic Instagram story. It wasn't words, it wasn't even a video. It was just a black screen with a single caption, "Don't play with me. I kept quiet out of love. But if you force me, The truth will hurt you more than it hurts me. The internet erupted. Was this the beginning of the end for Papoose's carefully crafted narrative? Fans were glued to their screens, expecting a bombshell. Within 24 hours, Remy sat down for another live stream. This time, the tone was different. It wasn't just emotional. It was sharp, calculated, and filled with the weight of a woman who had reached her breaking point. "I didn't want to do this," she began, her voice steady. "But since my name has been dragged through the mud and my motherhood questioned in public, I'm going to say what I have to say. Not for gossip, not for blogs, but because I won't let lies define me." Then she pulled out what she called proof. Screenshots of text messages, emails, and even calendar receipts that allegedly showed her involvement in her daughter's day-to-day life. School pickups, doctor's appointments, extracurricular activities. She painted a picture of a woman juggling an intense career while still showing up as a mother in ways the public didn't see. "I don't need to perform motherhood for Instagram," she snapped. "My daughter knows who's there. She knows who loves her, and that's all that matters." But Remy didn't stop there. She went further, claiming that Papoose had been using their daughter as leverage in arguments, allegedly telling Remy that he would take the child away whenever they disagreed. To her, this wasn't about parenting, it was about control. The internet lost its mind. Papoose using the kid. That's wild. Remy dropping receipts changes everything. Why would he do this to her? This feels personal, not parental. Damn, this is a whole custody war playing out in front of us. Meanwhile, Papoose responded the very next day with his own post. A short video of him playing with their daughter in the park, laughing, pushing her on a swing. The caption read, "Kids don't lie. The truth is in the smiles, not in the screenshots." Fans were torn apart. Some sided with Remy, believing she had proven her devotion as a mother. Others backed Papoose, saying action spoke louder than paperwork. The battle wasn't just theirs anymore, it belonged to the court of public opinion. And just when people thought the drama had peaked, a shocking report hit the blogs. Papoose had officially filed paperwork to pursue custody. The news spread like wildfire. According to leaked details, he wasn't seeking full custody, but rather joint custody with expanded rights, claiming that he wanted to ensure consistency and stability for their daughter. Still, the move was seen as an escalation that cut deep. For fans, it was proof that the whispers had been true all along. This wasn't just talk, it was real. Remy's camp wasted no time firing back. Anonymous sources close to her told outlets that she was devastated but ready to fight. One insider said she feels betrayed on the deepest level. This isn't just about custody, it's about destroying her reputation as a mother. And she's not going to let that happen. The hip-hop community was divided. Some artists rallied behind Remy, posting supportive comments and reminding the world of her resilience. Others quietly supported Papoose, praising his dedication to fatherhood. The once united power couple had now drawn invisible lines in the sand, forcing fans and friends alike to choose sides. And at the center of it all, their daughter. A little girl caught in the middle of one of the messiest public battles the culture had ever seen. What made the situation even more complicated was their history. People couldn't forget how Papoose had stood by Remy during her 6-year prison sentence, holding down the family, raising their child, and proving his loyalty in ways few partners ever could. For years, he had been celebrated as hip-hop's most faithful husband. Now, those same fans who once praised his devotion were questioning whether his loyalty had turned into resentment. Meanwhile, Remy's narrative carried its own weight. She had fought tooth and nail to rebuild her career after prison, reclaiming her spot in the industry, providing for her family, and defying the odds stacked against her. For her to now be painted as absent or neglectful struck a nerve, especially with women who saw their own struggles in her story. Social media became a battlefield. Hashtags trended. Memes flew. Clips of Papoose's podcast rant and Remy's receipts-filled livestream were reposted endlessly. Each side of the fan base became louder, angrier, more passionate, but behind the noise, behind the drama, the pain was real. A family was fracturing in front of the world. A daughter's innocence was being dragged into headlines. And no matter who was right or wrong, the scars from this public war would last forever. Toward the end of the month, Remy posted a heartbreaking message that brought many fans to tears. No matter what happens, my daughter will never have to question my love. And that's something no court, no lie, no accusation can ever take away. The message received an outpouring of support. But still, the custody process loomed ahead, and the outcome remained uncertain. Would Papoose's legal move succeed? Would Remy fight back harder than ever? Or would the two eventually find a way to put their differences aside for the sake of their child? The truth was simple: nobody knew. But one thing was clear: the fairy tale image of Papoose and Remy Ma, the hip-hop couple who overcame every obstacle, had shattered. And in its place was a painful reality. Love can turn into war. Loyalty can turn into leverage. And sometimes, even the strongest bonds can break under the weight of betrayal and pride. And as fans continue to watch every move unfold, one question lingers in the air: is this the end of Papoose and Remy Ma as we know them? Or just another brutal chapter in a story that's far from over? And there you have it, one of the most shocking and emotional chapters in hip-hop right now. Papoose, once celebrated as the most loyal husband in the game, is now standing on the opposite side of Remy Ma in a storm that threatens not just their marriage, but their family legacy. With accusations of being a deadbeat, rumors of receipts, and even legal custody moves on the table. This isn't just gossip, it's real lives, real pain. And a